Thanks, self-lovers. Welcome back to the Self-Love Show. I'm your co-host, Dawn Light, and this is my beautiful sister, Trish Wright, with me here. And we have an amazing guest today. I'm so excited to introduce her in one moment, my beautiful sister, SuzE Q. And if you are new to the Self-Love Show, thank you for tuning in for the first time. And also, if you are with us all the time, we're so grateful for your viewership. And in case you don't know, we're on all the platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple, all the places you can find us, from YouTube to all the podcast platforms. So, go share it out, the message of self-love. There's so many amazing gems of shows over the last 3 years. And we're just honored to do this work and be here together. So, so grateful to just share in the unconditional love of self-love, right? That's so powerful. And it's the healing balm that opens the heart and helps us live our authentic truth. And so without further ado, my sister here is so known for living her authentic truth, and I'm just so grateful to celebrate her. We've been friends for a very long time, and I'm just so honored to have you on the show today, SuzE Q. And I'm going to read her bio. So in this episode today of the Self-Love Show, guest contributor SuzE Q is getting down and dirty with the topic of movement and self-love. Through her personal experiences, she has found that dancing is a powerful tool for creating liberation, deep healing, and radical self-acceptance. When you dance, you connect with your body, let go of inhibitions, and allow creativity to flow. So join SuzE Q as she shares her wisdom for embracing yourself through movement and discover how you can drop it like it's hot and bust a move to self-love. Plus, stick around for SuzE Q's recommended resources and offerings for even more support on your path to liberation. So let's do this. With an impressive 25-year career in entertainment industry, SuzE Q has danced with some of the most iconic artists of time, including Madonna, Pink, Rihanna, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, and Black Eyed Peas. Now she has shifted her focus to supporting women and freeing themselves to make a leap to their true soul mission, which has earned her the title of Career Shift Queen. SuzE Q Rocks Coaching incorporates 22 years of practice, study, and experience in Kundalini yoga, meditation, and a lifetime of dance, allowing her clients to quickly break free and achieve their goals. Additionally, she utilizes her expertise in hypnosis, EFT, and sound healing to deliver even more impactful results for her clients. She's a published author and is constantly learning and growing to bring even more tools to her clients so that with her help, they can reach their highest potential. Oh, beautiful. What an honor to have you today.
Thank you so much. I know we've known each other for such a long time. It's really beautiful to see how we grow and weave our lives in and out and what we create.
It's true. Yeah.
You probably don't know this, SuzE, but everybody, well, Dawn really knows. Some of the people who've been watching for a while really know. I did a year-long Gestalt embodiment mentorship with a woman named SuzE Engler last year, and that was one of the most profound things that, after coming out of an abusive relationship a few years ago, I dropped into this class with this teacher, and dance is the foundation of the work, right? The embodiment piece. And at that time, I was hitting some, what I was calling pre-verbal trauma. I was hitting pre-verbal trauma, things that I couldn't speak to. Do you remember this, Dawn?
Yeah.
A long time ago. And I was hitting some attachment wounding in such a way that I was in a three-year PTSD trigger. And dance is what really helped me. And to not have to vocalize, to rationalize and vocalize, but to actually flail around and use my body to express. And one of the things that I love about SuzE's work, not only is she just, I don't know if she would call herself this, but totally a shaman, shape-shifting, wild, crazy woman, amazing, profound teacher.
Love it.
Psychotherapist for a zillion years, totally dancing with death. We'll pin that. But sorry, I'm on one already. You already knew what we were getting into. That one of the most profound things for me was to actually be able to process information and trauma and all of the things that were here outside of this, to actually embrace all that is me. So the discomfort that is just kind of being a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Curious about your view on, well, your view on embodiment, your view on the practice of movement as a way, an access point.
Yeah, that's a great question. I see the body as a channel. I see it as a musical instrument.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as a way to express divine connection. So the embodiment part, I feel like it gets so lost in our modern culture today. People aren't, I feel like maybe now it's getting a little bit more encouraged to express yourself through movement and dance. But I really feel that being able to move your body is this great tool to be able to let off steam, to express emotions when you don't have those words. And that's a really important thing, because that the primal being doesn't have words. And to really be able to express those primal fears, those primal ecstasy, without the actual verbiage, because so much is lost in that, right? Once you speak words to it's not even the thing that it was, because how could we explain something that's happening?
Love this.
I mean, even Brene Brown, I think she did not have her book translated into different languages, because she said it would lose so much going to different languages, because even the words are different. So the body and movement can express in a way that words never could. And that's what I also love about dance. Can be a conversation. When I'm on the dance floor, I am totally having a conversation with whoever I'm dancing with.
Yes.
And it's so fun when you can get them to like actually crack it and speak in their own language. Because a lot of times I feel like people feel like dancing is they got to do the right moves. And sure, there's a time and place for that, 100%. But when I come across people a lot of times, they say, well, I'm not a dancer. I don't dance. And I completely disagree. Everyone is a dancer. You might be trained or not. That's a different thing. Sure, dancing as a career is a thing. And then there's different types of dancing. There's ballroom, there's burlesque, there's hip hop, there's, contemporary. There's all these different types of dancing. But everyone is a dancer, even if you can't move your body, but just your fingers or your neck, like that's still dancing. Your eyes, in some cultures, like in India, their eyes are part of the dance. So everyone, from my perspective, is a dancer. And I wish for the world to embrace that, and for individuals to embrace that, because moving your body is such a liberating experience.
Gorgeous. I really relate with what you say about dancing, like your body is a channel. And that is such a truth I've shared in my own life as a dancer. I was a professional dancer for years and did all kinds of dance movement and participated in all kinds of things as an artist. And I really tapped in. There's something about the way I embodied it. It was so freeing. Like there's something about just being able to utilize your body to channel energy, to move and express yourself. And it's so pre-verbal and it feels so freeing and liberating. And it's an amazing thing to give yourself that gift and not have the tune into the world of like, oh no, they're looking at me, or what, or the judgments that may come along with people have that. And it's just like, if you can just get out of your head and get into your body and give yourself the permission to channel whatever wants to come through. And it doesn't even matter if you're looking like a a frog on the floor or a chicken or whatever wants to come through, right? It's just allowing yourself to go there, because that's the liberation.
Yeah.
To understand that that's a pretty vulnerable place, right? To allow someone to see your authentic movement. People are taught to, I mean, we're taught, we are living in a disembodied society, right? Like that's how capitalism and patriarchy and all of this, like the systems of oppression, like social norms, all that is just disembodied. And so when we open ourselves up to be seen or to be felt, to allow ourselves to feel that deeply, it can be incredibly powerful. Oh, can I tell a story?
Yeah.
So the other day I went to a show. I don't go to shows very often, but I went on a date.
Ooh.
Like a real date, like whoa, right? And we went to see a 90s, like a 90s house, Chicago house DJ.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Next, are you here? Do you live here? Let's go dancing. Anyway, so I get there and
wait, where is here though?
California, San Francisco area.
Well, I'm SoCal.
I guess we'll just have to draw you in. So we go in, and I have decided, like, I know that I'm in an age group where they say that I shouldn't be wearing these some things, and I just don't care anymore. Like, I just don't care. So of course my whatever, I decide to wear some like festy like, I'm like wearing a crop, like a top and like pants up to my waist. And I mean, I walk in and people are looking at me like,
whatever.
All right. I mean, we're here to have, I don't know if you know, but we're here to have fun. I'm here to dance. I'm here to get sweaty. I don't know about you in your like wool jacket, and you look very proper, and you're like very luxe in your raver gear. You're like, classy older raver gear. Cool. And I meet a group of gay men, and they're so sweet. They're just like, oh my God, hi. What sign are you? I mean, like, so much so that they made me like download an app to share star signs. It was adorable. Anyway, I'm dancing, and what I noticed now, and I'm so glad that we're going to talk about this, because what I noticed is that I have this like particular one move that I do a lot in my dance, where I like pull my hand up and I like bring it down and like caress myself, and I'm just wiggly.
Ooh, I like that.
Hand thing, like I don't know what it is. It just does this thing. And there was a couple that was literally, when someone's mocking you. And every time I would do it, they would snicker and talk to each other. It would be all good up until that point, and then every time. And so at some point I was just like, here's where, and maybe you all don't know this sassy part of me, but I was like, and the person I was with was like thinking that I was like flirting with them, and I was like, not. Anyway, they moved on really quickly after that piece. But what happened and I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, it has to be really challenging to create your identity around judging people, one, but also to be so locked tight that someone's pleasure in their body, regardless of whether it's on the dance floor or if they're like, whatever they're doing, like whether they're like, God, anything, whatever their pleasure is in this lifetime, to just have so much judgment about it and to be so locked up that you can't even like enjoy someone else's pleasure or let them have their own pleasure.
Well, I think it's confronting for people to see other people being truly authentic, and somewhere deep inside of them, I think underneath the snickering is like really a longing to be that free. Mm-hmm. I think their aversion to it comes from the fact that they're not letting themselves do that.
Yes. And that's what I got to. I was like, oh, it's got to be really hard. And
yeah, it's sad.
the six of us, the group of us, we're just sweating and like having a blast. They had a super large fan, and they were like fanning the whole crowd. It was, I think we probably had literally the most fun in the space, like just by laughing and joking and moving around the space, and just how much engagement and how much joy we brought to other people just by being embodied.
So, yeah. So this embodiment, like you were in the being, and the other group was outside being in the mind, in the thinking, in the judging, and judging that which I truly believe that they wish they could be. They wish they could have that freedom. And that's, yeah, that's, oof, it's a heavy one.
Oh my gosh, bringing forward something that I literally wrote to one of my clients this morning, and it was just like channeled straight from my heart. But I put, the mind will always question and have problems with. The heart is the gateway to our consciousness. It was like straight off the wings of waking up and just checking in, having a check-in, like, and it's so true. The mind is always going to have a problem or judge. And when we get out of our mind and get into our heart, it allows flow to happen, and connection, and the realization that there is no separation between us, and that we're all sharing in God's love and spirit. Right. And that is the embodiment piece. That's the piece we're all longing to have that connection with, and that freedom and that expansion, and that place of like, we all belong here. There is no need to judge one another for whatever individuality things you might think that are the issue or wrong. It's like getting out and away from the land of right and wrong, good and bad, because there's no freedom there.
Yes, 100%. And the the mind, is always looking for a problem to solve. Definitely. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We need to solve problems a lot of time in life. It's a normal function of the mind. But when you start placing it on like judging other people, that's where it really just becomes this downward spiral and creates separation instead of unity.
And what's a judgment outward anyway? A judgment outward is a judgment inward.
It's a judgment towards self.
It's a believement.
Oh, I like that word. I made up a word on my last podcast too.
It's a belief system and a judgment. It's a believement. And a system or a value system that one is presenting out and projecting onto other people. And as we know, like, I mean, the polarity that we're living in right now is just wild. Honestly, when I go out, I'm just like, I just want to fluff people up. I just want to like, you do you, whatever you is. I just want to like support that.
Yeah.
How do I do that? So, okay. This brings me to another question is, how do we embrace the embodiment? Again, how do we embrace dropping it like it's hot, or the do no harm and take no moments? Like, how do we embrace those places? How do we embrace the living outside what we're taught, or maybe what we're forced to do? Like, oh, if you wear that like super tight crop top bustier thing, you're going to be seen as a, you name it. Or if you do these types of things, then you're not respectable. Like we're taught in society in that way. So can we talk about sort of like the self-love piece, the embodiment piece, and how to like get there?
Yeah, that's a great topic. So humans are meaning-making machines, right? So those are all things that, oh, she wears that top, then I make it mean this. And it'll be 100 different meanings for 100 different people. However, society has geared us towards certain ways of thinking, mass think, shall we say. And really, the first step, I feel, is you get to be vulnerable. And the reason I picked drop it like it's hot is not only because that's a fun dance song and it's like, it can be like a dance move, you're dropping whatever, getting low, but also it's a double entendre here because you get to drop your inhibitions. You get to drop your insecurities. You get to drop that needing other people to approve of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you drop that like it's hot. And then that really is one of the first steps, is really not caring what other people think and allowing yourself to have your own expression, and that there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't need to look a certain way. You can wear whatever you want. And I remember when I would used to go to these like Burning Man parties back 25 years ago. And there was this guy who was a crazy dancer, and I loved it. He danced so interestingly, weird, strange. Other people would be like, even at Burning Man functions, people would kind of be, have an aversion to him, like, oh, it's too much. And I was always like, bring it on, come dance with me. This is like, let's get weird, because not everybody was stepping outside of whatever box. And, maybe on some level he did care, who knows? But when he was dancing, it's like he didn't care, because I do feel the human wound is that wound of like not enough or wanting to be accepted. It's a common core wound.
It is.
I'm just like me, right? Like I deal with it still with the onion layers, and just to be able to have those moments of freedom where you just let go. I feel like that's where it starts, is really this ownership of I get to be me and I get to express myself, and we can share, but it has nothing to do with you, and I'm not going to let you stop me from expressing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So dropping that old stuff,
Mm-hmm. And I love that you said it's a double entendre, because it has multiple meanings. It's like, yes, it's the movement, but it's also, what are you needing to drop in this moment that's just not serving you anymore? And you can do it through an embodied expression of your movement, your connection to self.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my takeaway from what the offering is today.
There's also a big thing about self-acceptance, right? And self-compassion. So I just came back from the Global Peace Tribe retreat, and that's what I taught, is profound self-acceptance. And what I've recognized is that, again, we're taught conformity. We're taught conformity and social norms as ways of being safe. We can go back hundreds of years, we can go back thousands of years, we can talk about how, social structures create the way that we're supposed to be. This is what creates insecurities and all of these things. So, right. But one of the things is like actually accepting our icky, right? So like the places where I'm not going to look good. Example, I had a conniption. I had a small conniption at the retreat where I got really angry and like pushed someone. And I was like,
wow.
I know. And I could go into this like, wow, I'm a bad, wrong person. But I'm at the stage where it's like, well, I get angry. I get angry when I'm pushed. I get angry when I feel pressured to not take care of myself. I feel angry when someone wants me to disown parts of things that I need. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I can get fierce and angry. And I think that might be a pretty common and also valid experience, to have to be angry about being forced into something.
Well, anger is usually a representation of a boundary being violated, and deep underneath that anger is true sadness around all the times that's taken place and what you've made it mean.
Exactly.
About yourself.
Exactly. So now there's the practices, y'all, if you're listening and watching, is the practices are kind of delayering and what she said is embracing yourself. Like, I've shared this many times before. It's the Tat Bam Asi. I am that too. Not only am I whatever you think I am, whatever I think I am, whatever positives I think I am, but I'm also the icky stuff that I could never even fathom that I would be. And to accept that, yeah, I get angry and I have human experiences and I get flooded with cortisol and adrenaline all the time. And now I feel bad and I feel guilty and I wanted to come back into restoration of integrity with this person. But I have to accept that I am also capable of those things. And I think that one of the pieces there around self-love and self-compassion and embracing ourselves fully is to accept that piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And anger is a fiery emotion. I think it's needed. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just how you channel it, how you choose to channel it. And I know I remember I had a breakup. I was probably like 23 or something. And the first time I had ever been cheated on. And I think the only time, but who knows, right? And I really took that opportunity to channel my anger into art.
Yes.
I drew, I wrote poetry. It's still some of the stuff that I can look back at and be like, that's freaking cool. And then it was out there and it released it from me. It wasn't inside of me. So I feel like in our society, we're not really guiding people to express their anger in a way that is supportive or in a way that actually creates something new. So that's anger. Yeah, it's important. And it's what revolutions come from too. I mean, it's like, it's necessary.
It is necessary. Yeah, it's the sacred rage. It's important to embrace that part of you. I remember, I grew up with a very, very angry father. So I had an aversion to being angry for a long, long time in my life. I was terrified to own that part of myself. And I remember, this is eons ago. I was in my 20s and I took this really intense workshop, like real address every part of yourself type of workshop in my 20s, and it was really profound. I mean, the guy got me in the group setting and got right in my face and was like, when are you going to own your inner bitch? And just,
Don't worry.
Anyway, forgot that we're on air, but I just finally had to fully address that part of me that was so repressed, that I was disowning the fact that I was livid and so angry for how I was treated, how I watched my family be treated, and I was repressing it and not owning it, right? And it was coming out in all these strange ways, and I was having to be rebellious in my younger years, and there was just a hot mess from me not owning it. And once I finally, I just screamed to my top of my lungs at that guy in front of a whole group of people. And it was set up that way to give you, it was like a setup for success, to finally, instead of a setup for failure, as a setup for success. The dynamic was so supportive of me finally in front of people owning a part of myself for the first time. And it was so liberating. And then I'm going to tie it back to dance, because the end of the workshop for me, I haven't talked about this in years, but they categorized us based on our life situations, based on our life curriculum and the things we've been through. They categorized us in groups, and like I was the fool for God. So I was just like surrendered, and we had to do a dance. We had to dance our liberation story of my being a complete fool for God, just like going for it, because I'd been a dancer all my life. And so it was such a place of liberation, and I got to move without words and share my journey, my story of liberation of the parts of myself that I was exiled from, and came home to at a young age. That was a gift to myself. I'm glad I listened and followed that, because it was so liberating.
I love that you got that experience, and to be seen in your rage and in your anger, and that you were celebrated for it. I want to bring in this piece of, for all of you listening, I just want to ask you a question. Is it spiritual to be angry? What's the first thing that comes up in your brain? Yeah, that. Let's talk about that. I think the thing that when I first got into spirituality, the thing that hurt me most was that it wasn't spiritual, or it wasn't proper to be angry. And that was probably the literal most devastating thing that I could have been taught. And to actually address and accept anger as a force, as a natural piece, and of an understanding of self, that's been most profound. I read a book called How to Be an Adult by David Rico many years ago. It's 100 pages, and it took me a year to read because there's like some profound things in there that I was like, and I had to process.
Yeah.
Concept of healthy anger, I was like, I don't even understand it. It wasn't even into my 20s that I got to feel anger, right? And what I'm now seeing is that if you suppress someone's anger, if I tell you, Don, you can't be angry. I mean, you can be angry, you just can't yell at me. Like, there's boundaries, right? But it's like, if I suppress your anger, then I'm suppressing a life force. And that's what you said, is like bringing out like revolutions, like passion, anger, the cortisol and adrenaline is actually necessary to move things through your life. It's necessary.
Yeah.
I like
yeah. And the fusion of both of your stories goes with my story as well. So, Dawn, I also came up in a household where there was lots of yelling and you know, angry dad, and he's much chiller now, which is great. And then when I found, like, started studying meditation and spirituality, the same motif there about that, you know, oh, anger, you know, like, just be chill, like, be chill, it's okay, everything's good. And I gravitated towards that because I had come from that yelling background where I was like, well, I don't want to communicate like that. But then through another breakup, it's always like these great lessons from these men that I get to have. I realized when a partner and I broke up, I was probably like getting close to 30 now, maybe like 28 or 29. I had realized that I had been suppressing my anger. And because when I got mad, I realized I was not just getting mad with him or our situation. I was getting mad for all the other times I didn't let myself get mad. And I just was like, oh, it's cool, SuzE Q, be chill, it's okay. It wasn't okay. And then it was coming out. And then that's when I guess it was in between that time when I processed my anger through art, where I kind of suppressed it for a while and then came to that point again where I realized I had been doing like that spiritual bypassing of not really allowing myself to have those primal responses of anger, but yes, channel them in a way that can, you know, like this is what I've learned in leadership courses is you can be mad, but don't be mad like on someone, you know, where yes, you can be mad at and have conversations, but to dump your venom on someone, that to me is that's not productive. And let's be productive.
Yeah. I just want to clarify this where I push someone just because I feel like it might be important. There was a series of 4 things that happened. I just want a cup of coffee. I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Another kind of pushy request. I'm going to make a cup of coffee. I'm almost there. Another pushy request. It's before noon. I don't even talk to anybody before noon other than the show. I just want a cup of coffee. My belly's upset and I just want a cup of coffee. And the 4th request was like a forceful request. And I was like, what part of I just want a cup of coffee? You know? And I think, again, it's like, where are we attuned? There's an attunement, right? Around sharing anger, right? So I'm not going to be exactly, if you're like, hey, whatever, and like, if you know, hold on, I'm gonna like work it out. If you know that you're stimulating someone's frustration, and you know that they've requested something, or that they're doing something, that if you know you're stimulating it, would you want to attune to that person and like, hey, what do you need right now? Or like, as the person who's stimulating the frustration, and the person who's not, who's kind of in the moment, like, hey, I need more space. So there's an attunement to self. And I think that, just to come back to the embodiment piece, I think it's important to learn to know what the body needs. And a good way to do that is through dance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, how do you know if you're not in your body?
Yeah, 100%. You know, the body wants to move. We're not built to be sedentary. We're not. Our muscles will waste away. We're not built to do that. And we are built to move. Mm-hmm. And we're built to move to rhythm and music. Cool. And to be inspired by that channel. It is a channel. Like, the music is hypnotic. It can help. I mean, that's why, you know, there's all sorts of different types of music, because they inspire different types of movement. Mm-hmm. And there's music, like, I can tell you, I put on music sometimes and throw punches and kicks to get out my anger. You know, like, just like, rah, you know, and then I usually like flop on my bed and just have a good cry, you know, because what's underneath the anger? That deep sadness, that deep hurt, the core wound, whatever it is that it's triggering. Mm-hmm. You know, like, emotions, I mean, Abraham Hicks says this all the time, like, emotions are your guidance system. Yes. You know, like, it's guiding you, like something. And even just like pain is a guidance system. Mm-hmm. If you put your hand on a hot stove, you get pain because it's telling you something needs to shift, something needs to change. So yeah, I think it is time to shift and change and move here. So why don't we go ahead and for all of our listeners that can't see us, we're about to have a dance party, and you're going to have a dance party with us. So go ahead and make yourself some room. I'm going to move my chair. So go ahead, get yourself some room. Trish is going to get the music ready.
You tell me.
It's the first one that I sent you, and we're just going to move. Now, if you don't know how to move, you don't think you know how to move, that's okay. You can just follow along. You can do your own thing. You can shake it. Whatever you do, it totally works. Okay. So whenever you're ready for the music, we can start. Oh my gosh, yes. Just let it go. If you've got hair, let your hair fly. Try moving things that you've never moved before. Maybe it's like you're shaking out your hands. Don't be scared to be weird, right? That's where the creativity comes, when you try something new. Yeah. And it feels so good. Good. Notice how the change in the music might even change the way you want to move. I did a crazy workout and my chest is really sore, so I'm really liking these kind of chest opening heart moves, you know? So you want to listen to your body. What does it want to do? What does your body want to do? Make sure you're breathing. You want to breathe while you move. Okay. that round 2.
It loops.
All right. So go ahead and come back sitting down. And you can go to that second track if you get a chance.
I'm in it right now.
Yeah, and just go ahead and allow your eyelids to close. And now your heart rate should be up a little more. So allow your eyelids to close and tune into your heart. If you want, you could even put your hands on your heart center. Begin to breathe in and out through your heart. And allow yourself to place your attention on your heart center. Whatever you place your attention on grows. So allow your heart center to grow and expand. Connecting with the qualities, the energies of compassion, love, forgiveness, acceptance, and connection. And gifting these energies and these qualities to yourself. Receive this love from yourself. Receive forgiveness and allow yourself to connect so deeply. Beautiful body, this vessel that carries your eternal being. Feel the energy vibration. You have a unique frequency. Allow yourself to tune into that right now. And expand your heart even further. Let the energy move past your skin into the ethers around you, creating a beautiful womb-like energy all around you, holding you so sweetly. Now see yourself as we just were dancing. See yourself dancing and having fun and not caring what anyone thinks. How good it feels to allow yourself to be expressed through movement. That you can do that anytime. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with friends. Sometimes I do it in the grocery store when there's a good song on. I'll just stop and dance. And people look, and I think they smile. So allow yourself to be authentically you. And love yourself for your uniqueness. We are each a beautiful piece, a mosaic of life. And without your uniqueness, the mosaic isn't complete. And now allow yourself to continue to slow the breath down. And promise yourself that you're going to do your best to continue loving yourself, to continue expressing yourself, and to surround yourself with community and people that love you for you, hold you high, and support you expressing your authentic self. Take a deep inhale, hold the breath, lightly suspend it, and exhale, release. And gently bring your attention back to the space that you're in. You can open your eyes. And I've been so happy to be here with you today. So I wish we were in a space where I could talk with our audience, but how do you guys feel? How do you beautiful woman feel? How was that for you?
Well, I loved it personally. It was wonderful. This is a comment from a viewer.
Ah, yes. Moving action is creation. We flow as we go. Oh, I love this. Interactive. That's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. New fresh feeling. He made a lot of comments. Thank you so much for watching, David.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Moments with movement. Yeah, and that's the thing. We're currently in this time-space reality. We are beings moving through time and space. And moving your body through time and space is such a gift.
I'm so curious. Tell me a little bit how this integrates for your work with women in the career shift. I'm so curious how you tie it. Like, tell me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so it's really important. I feel personally that movement. I use Kundalini yoga and meditation with my coaching, as well as dance movement. And a lot of time, the dance movement comes with like shaking it off. You
Mhm.
know, like shaking off whatever's not working,
Right.
just really and allowing a flow, like David said, allowing a flow, because that's really when we're in our flow, we're in synchronicity, we're in the right places at the right time, and life is happening for us, not to us.
Mhm.
We're able to see it from that perspective. So that is how I integrate it with my clients. Is I have private sessions, and then I also have group sessions where we do yoga and dance movement together, and really, culminating with experiencing the expression of the high, getting the heart rate up and really coming into the body, and then bringing it back down to the meditation,
Mhm.
because then the body is so alive and moving and flowing in its own right, that when you become still, that vibrational frequency is actually easier to tap into. I think it's a lot harder to just go straight into being still when you haven't moved. And that's why yoga and meditation go so hand in hand, because it kind of gets your body in a place where then sometimes like it gets your mind out of the hamster wheel. And then you can like into your meditative space. It's all about brain waves.
Mhm. It is all
Yeah.
about
Waves.
Yeah, brain waves. Yeah.
Oh, that was so peaceful. I feel really good. I love movement, and I love movement with other people. And I don't know how to explain. I love solo movement with others.
Mhm.
Oh, something that you said earlier is the conversation of dancing.
Oh,
Between
yeah.
it's like I was having a very specific conversation with myself, and you were as well. And I mean, you were talking about your arms
Yeah.
being sore, and like that's a conversation with ourselves. And then I was thinking about, oh yeah, that's why sometimes when I don't know, being a socialized as female and looking like a way I do, that when people grind up on me and like without consent, like that's a very specific conversation that they're having with me.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's definitely needs to be consent there, you know?
That's why I
And
loved being a hula hoop artist for years, because they couldn't do that. Literally, I was like, I'm gonna smack you with my hula hoop if you try to like. It was like the best thing ever.
yeah, that was like your
Sorry
force
to interrupt
field.
you. Yeah, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to interrupt you, love.
You
Go
know,
ahead.
and that's the thing about movement, right? Is that we get to choose, you know. So I loved the ecstatic dance moments because I like to just be ecstatic, but I also wanted to be safe there, right? And then I also had that very kind of like sneaky sexual vibe on me, and I was like, oh, that's not what I want. I would actually rather go to a club and know that I'm going to get grinded on than to have some sort of like weird thing. And then, and so that's why I'm really appreciating, are you into open floor or, soul motion, SuzE?
I haven't heard of those particularly.
Because it's therapy in motion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Places, because you get to move in your own pace, but there's also structures set up that you can like do triads and dyads and stuff where you're having a conversation and being witnessed in your it's really, really profound work. But that's the thing that I was like, ooh, I want to move, and I want to move with both of you, and I want to move with you all listening and watching, in a way that feels safe, right? And I think that's one of the key pieces. I felt really safe in the movement.
Right.
A, there's like a screen between us, and B, I can do whatever I want, and I feel free. One of the things so I led a movement class this weekend, and I invited people to move with a non-human. We were outside. It's something that was non-human, and to tell it something, which I think is really great that you brought this up. It was like a telling moment, and like to move with the tree and watching everybody sort of like play with the grass and the fountain, even like people are moving with the fountain. And I was like, I love this part of my life. And again, letting go of the mind. So I can see how you can bring this into business coaching and really free people up from this to get into their bodies and create more creativity or develop or stoke more creativity. So beautiful. I had a great
time. And the stoking the creativity and the liberation and the freedom, that's just going to bring more ideas. The higher energy vibration is going to attract more clients, attract more synchronicities or collaborations. I mean, Dawn and I hadn't seen each other for years. And when we saw each other just, recently, we were just like little magnets, So it's like that's a testament to the work that we do, that just like, we magnetize, right? So that's something that dance movement can also do, is that like it bolsters your magnet. You become more magnetic because you're expressing yourself, because we have this energetic field around us, right? This torus field, this Merkaba that's spinning, right? That you can really bolster it with physical movement, because we are these physical beings. And there was something else that you said that I wanted to touch on, and I lost it.
Here, let me.
Yeah. The thing I love too about, we hadn't seen each other in a while or spoken in a while, and then we were actually, what brought us together was we were at a 20-year celebration for the Ramayana, 2K, whatever years we were doing that together. My husband and I were in it together, you were in it, and there was all of our sweet friends, and we were actually celebrating such a profound spiritual dance, ritual, movement, theater experience we shared for a period of time in our life, which was one of the most profound things I've done a lot of profound things in my life, but that's how we met, and it brought us together in such a sacred way. And we were at the 20-year reunion, and immediately we were just like, bing, like, oh my God, how are you? Good to see you,
Yeah.
And here we are celebrating dance and movement in
and
our
both
life.
Becoming coaches.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. So profound.
It was super profound. Yeah.
Did you recall what you were thinking of?
I almost did when she blew it at me. It was. What was it that you were saying? I don't know. You said so many great things.
It's okay. It'll come to you. For now, I will say, hey, everyone. I have included all of SuzE Q's information. So how to follow her on Facebook and Instagram, how to just get, all of her juice there, and also her website where you can reach out to her and questions.
Oh, I was going to say, On my website, there is an option to opt into my email list and receive. It's called the Balance Bundle. But there's also, if you want to go straight to that, you can just go to my website /Your Balance Bundle, and careershiftqueen.com/Your Balance Bundle, and that gives you a yoga meditation, a yoga set to really like balance prana and apana. So drop it like it's hot, like dropping the stuff that doesn't work and making space for new chi and new energy to come in. A guided meditation, and then this really cool interview I did with Clayton Olson, who is a relationship coach. And I actually learned so much. I interviewed him years ago, but I use the tools he teaches in that today. So if you're interested in getting new tools like that, hop on and get your balance bundle.
I put the chat in the thread. So
Okay, great.
Everyone, if you're listening, go to Facebook and find the Self-Love Show, and you can see the links that are posted on the Facebook profile. But for those that need to hear it, it's careershiftqueen.com/Your Balance Bundle.
Yeah. And if you just go to careershiftqueen.com, you can find it on that page as well. So yeah, it's been such an honor and pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about what your current, besides the balance bundle, what your current offerings are.
So there are a few, and there's the Career Shift Queen Accelerator Program is for those women who are really just ready to jump off the hamster wheel of whatever work that they're doing that is sucking their souls and step into their life's true impact and purpose and heart's desire. So that's a 6-month program that is super powerful. And it's all on my website. If you go under course library, you can find it there. And I could maybe even make a little gift card for our audience members. So yeah, we can maybe add that to the comments when it comes. And then there's also spring is coming. Or spring is here. We're actually here. We already had the equinox. So I have an 8-week program that is called Level Up Clearing Activation. So it really supports people in not only clearing their energetic and physical body, but also their physical space. Because what I find with a lot of my clients or just friends or people in general is that they have clutter, or like their garage is a mess, or and it really affects how people function.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to clear out, I like to use this analogy. If you've got your garage is like chocked full of junk, there's no way you could park a new car in it. So if you clear out the stuff, then you make space for the new energy, the new opportunities, the new even physical possessions to come into your place. But if you have no room for it, then there's no room. How can the universe give you something you don't have room for? Mm-hmm. So that's and it's also yoga, meditation, dance movement is in there as well. And then I have private mentorship for a 1-year program that you can apply for. And then I have these new VIP days, which is usually everything I do is virtual, but I have created this new in-person 5-hour transformational experience where I take all of my tools from my toolbox and we get to create a transformation for the client. And that gets to be what they want, their focus. So we create the intention together. I guide them in their creating their intention, and I can do that privately or with couples, possibly small groups. I haven't done that yet, but that's another offering that I have. It's a very luxury VIP experience.
Beautiful.
And then the last one, I know it's so many, but hey, might as well have a cornucopia to offer people. Mm-hmm. So the last one is the Progress Portal, and it's just a 3-day short, get you a result. It also goes along with the book that I wrote, which is Procrastination Hacks, 11 Simple Ways to, oh my gosh, I don't even know my tagline. That's terrible. I think it's not stop procrastinating, but like retrain your brain for success.
Yeah.
So that my book is kind of a book manifestation of this 3-day progress portal. So through the 3 days, you actually create a result in something that you've been procrastinating on. And it's super powerful. One of my really good friends, she's a YouTube fitness celebrity, and she had been like putting off doing something for her retreat. And she was reading my book, and she texted me, and she's like, I'm reading your book, and I had to put it down because you said you put down the book and like go do that thing that you said you were going to do. And she's like, and so I booked the hotel for my retreat, you know? And so really like creating the opportunity to get people a result, because that's, you know, that's what we're
results driven. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the progress portal. So those are my offerings, and thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here.
Oh, we're so honored to have you, love. Just your offerings are juicy, and I know you're serving so greatly. It's really exciting. It's really exciting to see your shift and all the things you've poured your love and heart into everything you're doing, and it's just exquisite.
Thank you. I receive that. Thank you. It's 11:11 here.
11:11.
Perfect.
Thank you, SuzE Q, for your time and your energy, your presence, and your delightfulness and willingness to just go with the flow and be here. Thank you for loving my dear sister too.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to be connected with you now too.
We'll have to have a dance party. More will come. Dance party in the future, yes. I would love that.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Love Coach Academy, Global Peace Tribe, Sign Network. God, there's always one that I'm like, what am I missing? Scott Katamis and our freaking epic team, you know, Roy, Russell, and Marvin, for just being the most committed and sweet and talented, beautiful humans committed to bringing the Self-Love Show to you and out in the world, and really just loving Dawn and I so much, and loving you all so much. So thank you to those people who sprinkled in, because they're amazing. And you know, next week we have another amazing show. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, soon to be Instagram. Wait for it. We have a new Instagram. You can find us, you know, all over. And if you have questions or comments or concerns, you can type it in the chat box. You can also email us directly or ping us directly. And we'll address those, as well as tell us who you'd like on the show or topics you'd like to have. Just because we want to tailor this to you and your love and your healing and your profound
life journey.
Freedom. Yeah. So thank you again, SuzE and Dawn, and everyone out there in the world. Meet us back here, same time, same place, next week.
Thank you so much.